Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another one of the Broken Stones podcasts, talking business. Today, I've been looking forward to this one, actually. Joining us is a great friend of the business and a great friend of many businesses in Lichfield, and that's Louie Clegg from The Best Of. Welcome aboard.
Morning, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. It's good to see you. We haven't seen an awful lot of each other since the dreaded lockdown. How have you been keeping?
I'm touching wood, Jonathan, but exceptionally well, and I thank every day for that, because not everybody can say that, can they?
No, fantastic. And your hair has definitely grown since I last saw you, and most of mine has fallen out since you last saw me, I think. So we're polar opposites there, I think.
Yes, I am lucky.
For the benefit then of people who don't know you, there must be some people out there who don't know you. Tell us briefly about yourself, and then about The Best Of, and what that business is and what you do.
Thanks, Jonathan. There are lots of people that don't know me. I never profess to know everybody, but having run the Best of Lichfield for the past 11 years, I do know a lot of people locally and in the neighbouring towns as well, because people do intermingle at networking places and they get to know you. I always joke that having a silly name like mine, I can't get away from things. So once you've met me, you'll go, oh, that's that lady with a strange name. So it does help in marketing type terms to get remembered and get noticed. But The Best Of is a franchise, started well over 16 years ago by a guy that we all know, Nigel Bottrell, who runs lots of successful businesses, The Best Of just being one of them. For most of my years, to be fair, Nigel took a back seat and grew his entrepreneur circle. But in the last few years, he's come back and he's hoping to take The Best Of to the next level in the new year. Obviously, that was going to happen a couple of years ago, but unfortunately, as you know, we had to diversify, like a lot of businesses. And I think, I spoke to somebody last week and joked that, I didn't have a tidy house or a nice garden during lockdown because I didn't start working and supporting local businesses who, frankly, a bit like yourself, were pulling their hair out, not knowing whether they were going to have a business or not to come back to.
So tell everyone what The Best Of is. Give us your sort of elevator pitch.
Okay. For those who have never seen it or even heard of me, The Best of Lichfield is an online website where you can find everything the best of Lichfield. So whether it's an event, whether it's a local embroidery group, whether it's what time the pharmacy opens, but most importantly, it's full of recommended local businesses that are the best at what they do. But it's not me saying that they're best of, it's what their customers say. And it's all about the reviews. So when I took over back in 2010, we had about 460 reviews on just on Lichfield. I'm proud to say we've got over 37,000, and hand on heart, those reviews are all genuine. We're able, and this has been through lockdown, to pull reviews from other platforms, which is a fantastic bonus to local businesses, whether that be Google or Facebook or, dare I say, Yale, or Trustpilot or TripAdvisor, but we can pull them all through onto our platform. So as a local resident looking for a local business, you can see all the reviews in one place.
Fantastic.
Making things easy for them.
Yeah,
really.
Wonderful. We've obviously been we've worked with you in the past. brokenStones have been part of The Best Of in the past. Give the listeners an overview of the type of businesses that seem to flourish and do well within The Best Of.
And I think all franchises are different because it depends where they're situated. Yes, we're a city. We have a fantastic cathedral, but we're a small city, as I keep getting teased at by my franchise colleagues. And we're a small area, but what works really well here is the small trades, the roofers, the plumbers, and at the moment, people, if you need one and you haven't booked one, you may not get one before Christmas. I'm sorry to give you that bad news, but they are like hen's teeth. If you can get one that starts tomorrow, frankly, I would query their credentials. Check them out, please do. But a lot of those businesses work, the restaurants, the coffee shops, we have lots of those. The hairdressers, and we're always looking for new businesses, because like anything in marketing, people change and they change the tactics and they want to try something new and shiny. We've had businesses come back, but probably interesting that people like yourself, Jonathan, and business to business, although some of the key ones work, the accountants, the solicitors. We've got a business recovery service on at the moment, which is sadly in need, not for perhaps our businesses, but other people out there. But business to business, not really. It's more business to consumer, because we're looking at helping the residents of Lichfield find the best people.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, I got on the phone to you last week, didn't I? Because one of our clients, the diocese, were looking for an electrician. And you put us in touch with somebody who hopefully now is going to be a member of the best of Lichfield, and you recommended to us. And I believe they're going to be using him for that business pretty soon. I was also in an art gallery last week, actually, at Kerborough, and saw one of your stickers in the window there. I don't know if that's an old one or a new one, but it made me think of you there. So I see a lot of it when I'm out and about around Lichfield, and I certainly use the website myself when we're looking for local printers and businesses. How do you go about finding those companies then? I know you're a big believer of getting out there and meeting people. Tell us about how you get people onto the best of.
My husband jokes that I go to the opening of an envelope, and obviously that had to stop for the last 18 months. But it is meeting those people, know, like, and trust. A lot of the businesses, a lot of the trades that are on the best of, frankly, I've used them at my own house, and I feel, if I can have them in my home, then I trust them to go into yours. However, they have to come with reviews to start with, because I don't always need my carpet cleaning or my oven cleaning, thankfully, or an electrician or a plumber. But at the end of it, when you do, you want to be able to phone somebody up who will do a good job, and basically probably not rip you off, because I think that at the end of the day, none of us want that, do they? We want to pay a good price for a good job, and you get the best of what you pay for.
Now, obviously, reviews and testimonials are massive for businesses these days, and verification of how good companies are. In terms of the work that you're doing with these guys, how do you track the success that these companies have from being a member of the best of? How do you go about doing that?
Do you mean with reviews?
I think in terms, obviously people pay. There is a cost, and like everything, you want a return on investment. I presume companies tend to stay with you and do well. I mean, do companies come back to you and give you feedback on increase in terms of leads that they get, in terms of business generated? How do you go about measuring that sort of side of the business? Behind
the scenes, we've got extensive, techie stuff, as I call it. All the numbers, crunch the numbers, and you're right. Any marketing that anybody does has to be a return on investment. So we're very good at keeping the numbers. We know exactly how many people visit websites, how many people phone, how many people email. But trust me, some of my members will message me the minute they get, I'd say, a big job. I think my lovely roofer, Tom Smith, I think he'd been with me 3 days. And when he came on, I said, look, you might get a little job before Christmas, you might not. He got a complete roof. Now, I did say to him that would never happen again in his lifetime. But that's the way it goes, because they will tell me if they get a huge job, which is lovely, but it's that constant. And it depends on the size of your business. Some of the businesses that have been with us a long time, there's businesses on the best of Lichfield that have been on since before I took over. 14 years, I think my longest, 15 years, just coming up to. And that's tremendous. So it's got to have worked for them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that, and it's how they measure it as well. And whoever's listening to this, you know, you've got to measure where your market. So it's no good just throwing money around everywhere. And that's why we change. That's why businesses change, and we have a change of businesses on the best of, which is good. So it gives everybody, not saying that they've suddenly gone bad. It's just that they've changed where they want to spend their marketing, whether that be a little bit or a large bit, and we can cover lots of that.
Now, obviously, you're helping these businesses with their marketing and getting themselves out there. What I know you're a big fan, like I say, of pressing the flesh and meeting people and selling the concept of the best of. What else do you do to market yourself and the business? Do you do any online media? Do you do any blogs? Do you do any social media, anything like that?
Again, social media, we all have to do it. And I'm going to confess, when I took over, I had not even a Facebook account. Oh my goodness, how much we've learnt in 11 years. But it's doing it well. I'm not on absolutely everything because it depends where your target audience is. Yes, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. And of course, Instagram has suddenly gone mad. Recently, or perhaps over the last 18 months, I think it's suddenly gone a lot bigger than people thought so. But it's an instant one, you know. So if you've got a restaurant, you can post your food. Fantastic. If you're an IT company, computers aren't very sexy, are they, Jonathan? You know,
depends who's selling them, I guess.
Well, yeah. You know, and then of course you can bring the dog on. Which is lovely, but it's that, and it depends what you've got and what you're sort of selling.
Have I seen you write blogs in the past? I'm sure I've seen you do a couple.
Yes. I was just about to say, but you can't just rest on your laurels. Lots of businesses open and then hide away, and think, well, people will find me, I'm here. And actually they won't, because there's so much competition out there. So you've got to tell them, and you've got to get out there and speak to them. If you're not on Google My Business, you want shooting, sorry, but you do. It's a great platform, and it will get you on page 1 of Google free of charge. It's the only thing that will do that. I never promise first page from the best of. We can't, because we have no, back doors into Google whatsoever, but we will do our best with our SEO, and part of that SEO is writing blogs, because with a website, if you've had a website designed 5 years ago and you've added nothing to it, Google will just ignore it on the search engines, as you know. So keep adding regular content, and for us that's the reviews, and it's also blogs about our different businesses.
What makes a good blog? What do you reckon attracts people?
A good headline, because people have got to open it to start with, haven't they? You know, and then it's not War and Peace sometimes, because some people write really lengthy stuff, but sometimes it's just getting the message across about why people should use you. Why would people come to you? Yeah. Why would people choose you as a company above everybody else? And Chris is very good at this, putting himself across as the business owner, so you know, like, and trust him, and you think, oh right, so you might not need that services when you read that blog, but a few weeks down the line, a few months down the line, you hopefully will remember, oh, who was that person who wrote that blog about?
People still buy people. There's no doubt about that.
At the end of the day, yes, they do.
I mean, certainly when we're talking about our services now, we've tried to get away from some of the technical aspects of IT, because IT can be a very dry subject, especially around things like cybersecurity and things like that. So we try and talk about business outcomes these days. You know, working with brokenStones, what would it do? And we say basically it's things like giving you greater financial clarity, giving you operational efficiencies, having happy staff, things like that, and keeping it at that very top level. So when an MD or a boss is reading something like that, they look at all those 4 headlines and think, yeah, I want all of that. I'm not interested in the spec of the computer or what software they're using. Do I get those 4 headlines? And the answer normally is yes. So I get where you're coming from there. I mean, obviously you've been in business for a while now, and you've been doing the best of for a while. Give us some real top line easy wins for local businesses, maybe in terms of getting out there, apart from obviously joining the best of.
Yeah, well, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
However, Google my business, please. Yeah, get your reviews, but don't keep them in a drawer. Get them out somewhere, even if you post one every day on social media to tell people what Mrs. Jones said about your fantastic service when you clean the carpet. Tell a funny story, because people like that, don't they? Yeah. Did the job? I think it was at one of my previous oven cleaners. Somebody phoned him and said, "Did you see the cat when you clean the oven?" And he was a bit alarmed, and he said, "No, I don't think it was in the house." And it wasn't in the house. It had jumped in the back of his van when he was cleaning. And he drove off with the lady's cat. But that made a great blog.
I was praying it wasn't going to be a cat in the oven story. That
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, we're nearly at Halloween.
Neither would my oven cleaner, may I say. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us, we're sort of coming to the end of the allotted time now. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You obviously have a life outside the best of Lichfield. What do you like getting up to, Louie?
Yes, if I had more time. No. I am very active in the community. Been a member of the Lichfield Chamber for many, many years. And we're putting on a fantastic Christmas fair, and I'm going to plug it because it's November the 21st. We had to cancel last year, and they've run a Christmas fair in Lichfield for over 50 years. So that was devastating. So please come down and support that. I'm also a Seroptimist, so we help lots of ladies to empower themselves and educate them, which is fantastic. And I've been in Lichfield coming up for 23 years. We moved back here from South Africa, where we lived for many years and where the children were brought up. And of course, they've fled the nest now. So there's just my hubby and I, and we downsized during lockdown. How mad were we? So we're enjoying life in a smaller apartment in Lichfield where we can walk into town. So I'm actually walking to clients now, which is fantastic.
Good for you.
Keeping me healthy.
Good for you. Finally, then, you're obviously very passionate about Lichfield. For any businesses or people thinking about Lichfield as a base, sell Lichfield to the listeners, and then we'll wind up.
Thank you. Everybody comes for the cathedral, and then they go away finding lots more stuff. It's quirky, it's quaint, it's full of fantastic local independent businesses who are just as passionate about me about buying local. And that's what you get in Lichfield. It's that community vibe. Although, yes, we're a city, we still all care and look after each other. And I think we all proved that during COVID with the lots of fantastic community groups that set up helping each other, and lots more. So people come and they come back, which is fantastic.
Brilliant. Well, on that high note, Louie, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure as always. I've no doubt I'll see you around town soon at a networking event or a local business thing. But thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure, and we'll meet up with you soon.
Thanks, Jonathan, and the team from brokenStones.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.